Hi, Virgos. I'm here with your weekly reading for June 29th through July 4th. I owe you an apology for not being here last week. Unforeseen circumstances. I will try my best not to let that happen as much as I can. But I do apologize to you greatly, and I appreciate you tuning in. So I'm going to dive right in with your reading this week, Virgos. And so, starting out for your theme for the week, we do have the Five of Spring. And the Five of Spring is that you're going to have some challenges this week, right? You're going to be feeling at odds with yourself, with other people. Things just aren't going to be lining up good, right there. Okay, so there's just opposing, differing opinions, opposing sides. Like that's what the Five of Spring is all about. And so be aware that you know sometimes you'll be feeling like you're in a tug of war, right? Like it's really going back and forth and back and forth, and it's going to be a struggle. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, and the obstacle for that is the Eight of Autumn, but it was in reverse. And so the Eight of Autumn is about really doing research, right? Really digging in and really paying attention before moving forward. And so in reverse, it's just the opposite, right? Because you have all these differing opinions. You feel like you're in a tug of war and you're at odds with yourself, with everybody around you. Like, just it's crazy town. And so because of that, then the obstacle for you is going to be you're going to want to just jump in before you actually breathe first, right? And so the Eight of Autumn is really about just stopping and taking that breath and kind of doing a little bit of background research, kind of looking at all sides of the coin, so to speak, before you decide to what your next action is going to be. Because when we're feeling at odds, we sometimes don't come from a great place. We come from it through frustration and aggravation, and so sometimes that, and then we have a tendency to react with our emotions rather than with our logic, right? And let's face it, Virgos, you guys are all about logic. So, really make sure that you're putting your ducks in a row here and going about the view in the right way. Okay. And so for the advice for the week, you got the Three of Spring, but it was also reversed. And the Three of Spring is about making sure that you're planning your next steps. And it goes back to that Eight of Autumn, right? Jumping in and not, so really, I mean, it's really saying that your patience is going to be tested. And it's going to seem like a brick wall, but just remember to plan, research, think about it before you react. Don't react first, right? So there's what you have from those cards. And then for healing with the fairies oracle deck, I did pull positive expectations for you. Keep up your hopes, dreams, affirmations, visualizations, and prayers, as they will be wonderfully manifested. Don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle occurs. You planted the seeds of manifestation with your positive thoughts and emotions, yet you may be discouraged occasionally because you aren't seeing immediate results. You start to have pessimistic thoughts and wonder whether your faith is unjustified. Hold on to your faith. Although your manifestation is taking longer than you hoped, it is coming to you. You certainly don't want to cancel or cloud your manifestation with miscreations that come from negative thoughts. At your earliest convenience, go outside in nature. Even a backyard or small park will do. Mentally converse with your friends, the fairies. They are absolute experts at manifestation. Tell them about your doubts, your fears, and disappointments, as well as your hopes and dreams, and ask the fairies to release you to start that sentence again. Ask the fairies to help you release any negativity you may have and feel them surround you with their healing love and light. Okay, so think about that. If you're feeling at odds with yourself and others, really, that really does put a damper on manifestation, doesn't it? I mean, it's hard to manifest something when you're focused in on the negative side of things. And so regroup, but plan it out, right? I think that's really your message this week. Like, really think about it, really, really put the time in, because you can absolutely, positively stop a blessing from coming your way by focusing on the negative and the harder to handle stuff, right? And coming through it from anger, frustration, and it will absolutely block you, right? So those are things you need to release. And yeah, we all get scared, we all get mad, we all just get discouraged. We're human beings, we live on this planet. Of course we do, right? And as I said earlier this week on Facebook reading, it's been a shit show. Life is a shit show right now. Of course you're frustrated if you're dealing with family issues or work issues on top of it. Yeah, it's a shit show. So, and I've talked to some of you personally, what I was going through this last week. It's been really rough. But you know what? It's, that's why you need to take that pause, reconnect with nature, release that stuff, right? So there is that for you this week. And then for your chakra, you got a throat chakra card. Receptivity. When someone shares their truth with you, listen. Open channels for divine wisdom to flow both towards you and through you. Something or someone seeks your attention right now. Remember that even animal spirit allies can be messengers of wisdom from the higher dimensions. Be open to the messages as they come in whatever form, and ask for clarity if needed as you integrate what you receive. Crystal for that is angelite, and the herb is elderberry. So if you think about that, and you think about you're feeling at odds, and this week, and you're not really thinking through how you're going to react, receptivity. Maybe you really need to really look at the other person's side, put yourself in their shoes, listen to their truth. And maybe somewhere in there you can find some middle ground to work through the struggle, right? And quit being at tug of war. Okay. For an intention, you got happiness without. I am at peace with all forms of creation, asking nothing of others that I cannot provide for or by myself. As I release judgments and expectations of others, I find a state of divine acceptance and allowance within that heals myself and my ancestors. And the stone for that is peach aventurine, and the essential oil is bergamot. I know I've been guilty of this, right? And so I'm going to use myself as an example in this, and share a little story with you, because I think it bears being told. So my father passed away last year, but during my lifetime, my father and I had a very tumultuous relationship. Believe it or not, he was a Virgo. And so I think this this is really pertinent to your reading. My father was a Virgo, and my father and I had a very tumultuous relationship. It was really super difficult, and for years and years and years and years and years, I carried a lot of anger and hatred towards my dad, and it was affecting my life, and not in good ways either. And then I struggled with that, right? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, how can I how can I work at forgiving my dad? Like, I know that forgiveness is important. I feel like it's hampering me spiritually. I feel like it's hampering me in relationships with other people. And I really need to heal this. And I don't know how to heal this because, well, I just can't forgive him. You know what I mean? So it was this tug of war within myself. And how I finally came through it, how I finally worked through that was by looking at expectations, right? Okay, so in my mind, I had this expectation of who or what a dad should be. And that was not him, but it was my expectation of him, right? I placed an expectation that was unrealistic. He could never meet that expectation. It was impossible. He wasn't capable. And so once I realized that I had an expectation that he could not live up to, um, and let myself let go of that expectation, guess what happened? My father and I were able to, mend those wounds, and we ended up having a much better relationship because I quit expecting things from him he was not capable of producing, right? So I want you to think about that happiness without. Think about what that says. I'm at peace. I'm going to reread it because I think it bears repeating. I'm at peace with all forms of creation, asking nothing of others that I cannot provide for or by myself. As I release judgments and expectations of others, I find a state of divine acceptance and allowance within that heals myself and my ancestors, right? I think that's a good card for you. Because if you're struggling with that tug of war, just like I was with my dad, maybe to look at your expectations, look at your judgments. That could also lead back to, jumping in and acting out of emotion, because that's where our expectations lie, right? And our emotions and our egos. And so you can really think about it in those terms, okay? And right along with that, the other card that came out for you is Burning for Peace. I am a force of peace and beauty, and starting over, my tongue not working. I am a force of peace and beauty, and I seek to manifest peace among all beings on this planet at this time. In creating peace, I anchor the Hermetic principles in third dimensional reality, which is the essence of magic. As above, so below. And the stone for that is amethyst, and the essential oil is tuberose. And think about that. Think about setting that intention for peace, right? Because when we're in a tug of war, and especially if it's family members, oh my heavens, right? But not just for us, it's the planet. And especially right now, right? Like I said, shit show. Don't we all need some peace right now? And what we give out, we get back. So if we're going to manifest some peace for the planet, guess what? We're going to get some peace back for us too. If you manifest peace for your family members, you're going to get peace back too. Just the way it works. So it's a great intention for you for this week, Virgos. I create my future today. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Because life loves you. And if you're at this tug of war and acting out of emotions, and that's creating more disharmony and dysfunction, and you're having unrealistic expectations, and maybe they don't seem unrealistic to you, but maybe to the person that you have them on, they are. And so as you're manifesting that happiness without and that peace, and you know what, work on that, because you create your future today. Okay? Create your future today, my friends. All right, Virgos. If you're not already following me up on Facebook, Fun a Day Healing Arts on Facebook, I encourage you to do that. I do a reading every morning. And then if you have not already subscribed to my channel and would like to, please hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate the followers. And but I do want to wish you a very wonderful week. I'll be thinking of you and praying for peace for you. Remember that I love you, and I will see you next time.